First of all, I just want to say thanks to Cal State University San Bernardino for hosting us. It was an amazing 13 days for our football team in every single way, from the facilities that they provided to us, the food, the fields, the field maintenance, turning over their locker rooms to us, turning over their equipment rooms to us, turning over their meeting rooms to us. We couldn't have found better hosts anywhere, and they just made this a great experience for our football team. I think it was a great experience for our football team. A lot of real positive things came out of this. A lot of great learning, a lot of great growing, a lot of great bonding, and I think we leave here 13 days after we got here a much better football team, both on the field and off the field. And I'm excited about the direction that we're heading. We are 13 days away from our opener, so we still have a lot of work to do. We've got to stay focused, stay sharp, and but we are excited to get back home to Westwood, get on our brand new fields, and really start to kind of narrow it down and prepare for Rice. Today we did a kind of simulated game, a mock game. We put them through mostly special team situations. We ran plays in between, but those were mostly special team substitution situations or unusual substitution or situations that might come up in special teams, and it was very productive. So they were focused today. They did a nice job. Communication was good. The attitude is good. I think these guys are excited to get home, but I think at the same time they appreciate the time up here. So.
Will you ever consider doing this again?
It's too early to ask. Well, it's not too early to ask me that. It's too early for me to answer that. I really enjoy being away like this. I think we've picked just the right amount of time. Overall, it was a great experience, but I think every year is just a little bit different. So yes, I would consider it, but I think every year is a little bit different.
Is it more important for your first year to have this sort of thing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it. Yeah, I guess you could define it as because it was my first year. It was just this year. It just felt like this team. It would be really good for this team. To be in this environment and eliminate distractions. And yes, Chris, important.
The writers took a vote. If you do it again, we would like you to pick Las Vegas or Honolulu.
I heard you guys voted for like UCSD or something.
Yeah, that would be all right. Honolulu stops on our list.
But really, this was. And I'm not just blowing smoke. Cliff Dockerman, who ran this whole thing. If someone could please write his name somewhere, because this guy was amazing. Every time we asked for something, rather than saying we can't or no or we don't do that, it was we'll get it done. We'll find a way to get it done. And it was just amazing, and he got it done. This is a guy that it wasn't unusual for him to be emptying trash cans at 12:31 at night, and then be up the next morning at 6 o'clock making sure that the meeting rooms were open and the food was good. And he just always was around with a smile on his face. And without him, this would not have been possible for us to have it like this. He's an unbelievable guy. He's an unreal.
He used to be with the Arsenal, right? The Anaheim Arsenal?
He's done a lot of things. I know he was in the I think the World League. I think he was at up in Stockton. He's just. We couldn't. There's no way we could have gotten what we got done without Cliff.
Jim, in what ways do you envision this bonding experience to pay off on the field?
I think it'll pay off on the field, in the locker room, just around campus. I think that this is an experience where when you hit the rough patches in the road that's inevitable in a season, you're going to have some adversity. Whether it's during a game, or whether it's you lose a game, or you suffer a key injury, and I think you can draw back on this experience to give you some strength to keep going. And I think that in any season you're also going to have times where you're having success, and when you have success, there is a tendency, human nature is to let off a little bit and become complacent. I think you'll reflect back on this and all the work and the tough times we had out here, and the sweat and the fights and the coaches yelling at you, and you say, man, I'm not gonna, that's not gonna be for naught. We're gonna keep pushing through, even though it's going pretty good right now. So I think that'll really help us. I think these guys have developed a level of trust in each other. They know each other better. They know each other's backgrounds and their lives better. And I think anytime you're working in a team environment like this, it's important that you know the person next to you. You have to trust them on the field, and if you can trust them off the field as well, if you know a little bit about them, it's easier to trust them, I think.
How many of the competitions have you gotten settled now? Right tackle, safety, kicker. I mean, all those. You know, do you have any starters there yet?
I mean, we have an idea on a lot of them. We named a quarterback.
Really?
I thought you were going to do that today.
Yeah.
That's right. It is August 16th.
You're going to come here and tell us it's Prince now, right?
No, the starting quarterback is Brett Hundley. But everything's going to always be open for competition all year. You know, you want to create a culture of competition. You know, you want everybody to always feel like they have to continue to work hard and stay focused and be sharp and put everything into it to hold on to their job. And you want to create a situation where the guys that are their backups are feeling like there's hope, you know? And so you name starters and you have starters, but you always have to have a culture of competition, always, at every position, really.
So specifically, is like Torian White your right tackle right now? I mean,
today he's our right tackle.
Okay.
Today he is.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow he will be, because we're not practicing, yes. And he will be on Saturday, which, by the way, is our welcome Meet the Bruins at 3:30 to 5. It'd be fun to come out to that.
More than just who starters or anything, did you get enough answers on personnel?
I did. I think, Chris, that there's still some players, there's still some positions where there's, in my mind, you know, that I haven't necessarily shared with staff or players. There's some things that are pretty solid, and then there's some uncertainty. But you know, I've identified about 60 players right now, 68 players that I feel like I have a pretty good idea of exactly what they are and what their role can be in helping us win games this year.
Just because the numbers things, is the offensive line one of those areas that you're still...
It's a little bit up in the air, yeah, you know, because some really good players didn't get to get a lot of work this camp. And so we're going to need to get them back and get them integrated as fast as we can. But, you know, you asked about Torian. Did you ask about Torian? Torian, yeah. Torian, you know, he came out here after missing a few days and really kind of made an immediate impact. You know, so you feel better about your offensive line when a guy like Torian comes out here. I mentioned Ben Wysocki last night. And I was just talking to Ben coming off the field, and I told him, I said, you know, you were one of the real pleasant surprises of this camp. You know, coming out of spring, you were just Ben Wysocki. You know, a guy competing to play, and now, you know what, they call him the franchise. You know, because he can play every position, and he's got a little swagger to him, and he's playing good football. So, you know, you find guys like that.
Jim, you said Ellis McCarthy's made pretty remarkable progress since coming
He's
back.
made good progress, yeah.
Is it enough for you? Is it soon enough where you can now have a timetable set on when he will return?
Not yet. Really, I think it's important with Ellis, given, you know, that he's just a young player, and we know that he's just got an amazing amount of potential, is that we are always erring on the side of caution in terms of getting him back on the field. I mean, I think we'd do him a real disservice if we put him on the field before he was ready to play, just because we got a little bit selfish. You know, we have to look at the length of this kid's career, not just, you know, the immediate future, but the long-term future. So that's what we intend to do.
Looked like Jeff Walk didn't do much kicking today. He's
just sore. Yeah, he's been working hard. He's so dependable, and you know, he's like Yoda to those other kickers. I mean, they follow him around and they listen to every word. And you know, either he was sore, which he said, or he just kind of decided, I'm gonna let the young guys see if they can figure it out without me out there. And either way, I think that's pretty smart of him.
Moving over to Westwood, what are you sort of looking for in your preparation once you actually get there?
Well, we're not gonna practice tomorrow, and then Saturday we'll have a practice. Sunday we'll have 2 practices. We still have 2 days of double days. We'll go morning and like evening, night under the lights. We'll start to hone it down a little bit. You know, start to focus on the guys that we think are gonna play at Rice. You know, get them more work. We'll actually do a little work on Rice on Tuesday and Wednesday. You know, not full practices for Rice, but we'll have specific parts of practice where we're doing, you know, work against what Rice does offensively and defensively and special teams. Getting used to that brand new, beautiful field, and just getting back in our meeting rooms and just kind of, I guess, what the quick answer is just narrow the focus.
Yeah. And with Oa, can you talk a little bit about his performance out here in camp and what he sort of meant to the team?
Oa is a really good football player, and he figures in the rotation with Dayton and Cassius, and he's still a player that's developing the awareness that's necessary to be a great player. He's got the physical skills to be a dominant player, but the game is not something that has just come natural to him given his background. But you see it starting to happen. You see him starting to be able to just kind of let loose and play without having to think. And if you can combine that with the tremendous physical skills he has, he is a real force. He's a really good diver as well. He was one of the best divers at the swimming pool, believe it or not. Now he couldn't float because he's just a ball of muscle, so he just was pulled down to the bottom, but he can really dive.
Who went in and got him?
He made it out. He made it out.
Hoffmeister situation?
Hoff strained his hammy last night, so he could be out for a couple days, and as soon as we get him back, we need him back, because he's another guy like Ben. He's kind of in the Ben Wysocki mold, like Ben Wysocki, good football player. Ryan Hoffmeister, good football player. Every time you look at the film, you just go, wow, Ryan Hoffmeister. Wow, there's the Hoff. Wow, Ryan Hoffmeister making another play. Put him in inside backer, put him in outside backer, put him on special teams. Wow, he just keeps making plays. He keeps showing up. He's one of those guys that just kind of creeps in there and sticks with you. So we need him to get back.
And now you had Hilliard running a little bit of inside linebacker. Is that because of?
No, that's just a package.
Oh,
just a package.
sorry.
No, we just work on different packages all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not.
I was like, man,
no,
you've been there.
We're not. No.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure that we want a 195-pound inside linebacker. Anyway.
Laughter from the offensive line, am I correct?
Yeah, I'm no kidding. But thanks to all you guys for coming out too. I know it was a pain in the butt every day, and hopefully you guys were able to bond and come together as a group and formulate good questions. We'll have a good season.
As long as you didn't throw us out.
Same number.